we're here in a yarning circle with Richie, Julia and Adam. And I think the first question to ask is, how did the process get underway to getting here?
The word for our local area, it means our home in the First Nations language. And so community is really important for us. And some of the parents, staff, students, we talked about the idea of being able to honour the Indigenous nations, but also just to be outside, you know, that sense of well-being, and to be able to sit around and yarn and chat. So it was actually through Junior Landcare that we're able to make this a reality, and chatting to people like Pastor Richie.
So Richie, what's been your involvement? How did you get connected to the yarning circle?
Yeah, look, I was pretty excited when the principal Julia came and spoke to us about the concept that the school wanted to actually have connection with faith, community, and develop a yarning circle. And I was really excited because I could see the potential of that integration of culture within the mainstream education. And she came and spoke to me and showed me the plans, and we came and looked at she said, do you think this would be a great spot? And I'm like, yeah, like any spot is great.
So how did you go about the site planning and like working out where and what materials, what steps were involved there as a principal?
Yeah, so I guess one of the big steps to start with was just looking at our building plans. We're a kind of a city school on a small bit of land. Where would it fit? We also are part of the Aboriginal education group, so consulted with them around, you know, what processes that we needed to go through to put in a yarning circle to be respectful.
And what came out of that? Just unpack that a bit.
Okay, so out of that was the idea that you work with community to get their voice, hence asking Richie, who's one of our parents and First Nations, and then also with a local community to understand, is there anything special that we need to do? And they said, not in the selection of the site, but after you have the site, how you then honour it, that's really important. To be able to educate the kids, staff and community around what this means, because some of them thought it meant knitting to start with.
Yarning.
Yes.
Darning and yarning.
Yes.
And so you found this place. How did it sort of come about?
So to start with, we thought that we could do it ourselves with some volunteers that have got, you know, some bobcats, etc. But we found, no, it was bigger than we realised. And so we reached out to Junior Landcare, and they helped us. And then getting another connection through the hospital, actually. So it's through community that we're able to get someone that went, hey, this is a Wabakul sandstone. So it's from a nation that's not too far north of us, and to be able to use that in this space was amazing.
It's interesting, isn't it, when you start to think about where you are, where you interact, where is my money going, where are the resources that I use coming from, and to say, oh, this is a Wabakul, that's over the Hawkesbury,
yeah.
That's up towards the Central Coast in Newcastle, and you say, okay, I'm bringing part of that country to our country. So there's a kind of an exchange there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Not just the money.
Exactly. And I've actually, in my family, my cousin is from the Wabakul Nation. So it was really lovely to be able to have that kind of like connection. Take another step, because it's part of our whole school community now, not just my family connection. Yeah.
And how did the build unfold? Was it difficult?
No, it was actually great. 2 days, because kids came and helped with some of it. Obviously, they didn't help with the lifting of the sandstone. And then partnerships with entities around here. So everyone got involved, and it was such a blessing that we had other people come and go, hey, I'm willing to help.
Yeah, it's really the community that actually came together to actually create community and create a space where community can continue to journey. As kids come through, they can continue to be connected and see the richness and of Indigenous culture come alive within this educational institution. that it continues through generations from our little ones right the way through to our year 12s, but also the wider community around can actually access and utilise this space to actually have time of yarning.
What do you think of the location here, Adam?
Oh, look, this is a beautiful space. And, you know, we already can see around here we've got a whole bunch of sort of coverage with some of the larger, more mature trees. So we can kind of utilise that in this space and then look at some of the smaller things that we've planted in here that over time, so you've got that kind of, you know, looking into the future over time, the aspects are going to change and it's going to make it a really just comfortable space for children to come and immerse themselves in. Some of those elements that you guys have just been talking about, this is a lot of what we've been speaking about in our resources, you know. So firstly, that connection to community, you know, which can be, you know, as easy or as simple as just reaching out to a parent in your community and being guided by them, you know, a First Nations parent, but also reaching out with that local traditional owner community, which you have done, understanding even just the language of what the word is meaning and how does that connect us to this space that we're sitting right here, and how do we utilise that within what we want to achieve in this circle, you know. So you've had all those elements in there, and then, you know, right to the materials, understanding where those materials come from, what country they come from, you know, and I can see those connections right back to our traditional ways in terms of trade, you know. We would trade different materials to come to different areas so that we had that material on hand, you know, and you're kind of almost seeing that happening here again. You've got a bit of a trade happening of some beautiful materials from a few countries over to come and be in this space where the kids can immerse themselves and sit on and utilise. So what a wonderful achievement you guys have done.
We just love it because it's around greening our school and also around we're in this together. It's equity. So to sit in this space and to listen, to yarn and to be surrounded by the kids planting, you know, that's just well-being right there. It's awesome.